Hey everybody, it's Bust with Busted Strategies number 20. Moving back into Constructed today, playing a little bit of Standard with some red-green ramp. This is what I've been using to level up since the season reset and trying to get ourselves back up into Masters. And so it's a bit of an extension of the decks that we've been posting. Like I posted kind of the mono red deck I was playing in the previous week. And really liking this combination of the ramp cards in Magda, along with the Stormseeker, Moonveil Regent, and Goldspan Dragon. And so this is kind of the next step to the advancement of that. If you look around at places like Untapped.gg, you'll see this listed as kind of like a green-red aggro deck, which it most certainly is not. This is a ramp deck through and through, and kind of the big combinations we're looking for here is some way, essentially what you're looking and asking yourself to do is how can I be attacking with one of these big dragons on the fourth turn of the game? And so the most common and strongest plan that we would have to be doing that is going to involve our ramp cards and the Sentinel, the Innkeeper, and Magda. And then you're looking to either play a Moonveil Regent on turn 3 or play a Goldspan Dragon on turn 4. And then that should get you nice and lined up to be attacking with one of these big boys on the fourth turn. The reasoning for these numbers here, Magda is not very good on the draw, and so we play one less copy of her, but the Sentinel and the Innkeeper are always good. Your kind of fallback plan in case that doesn't happen is basically with the Reckless Stormseeker. And so if you have one of these draws where you don't have ramp, which we highly recommend you avoid, then you'll try to use the Stormseeker. And so when it comes to these kind of opening hands, you're just going to look at it and say, okay, does this have ramp in it? And if it doesn't have ramp in it, you're probably going to want to mulligan it away, at least if you're open at 7. And then if it doesn't have ramp, does it have some kind of Stormseeker play, or does it at least have a manageable curve to where you can say like Ranger class Stormseeker into Esika's Chariot? And so those are kind of the big lines. I think people started to bring these decks out once you see the power of being able to play the Chariot on turn 4. On turn 5, you play Wrenn and Seven and generate the Treefolk, and then you use the Treefolk to activate the Chariot's crew cost and then generate another Treefolk. That's not a line that we come across too commonly, but that is one of the bigger kind of late game plays that you could make. But through and through, this is going to be a big ramp deck. And then the thing that really draws me to this is, and historically with a lot of ramp decks, you just run out of stuff to do. You'll have things go right. You'll get your ramp cards. You'll get your big, Primeval Titan type card on the board, and then your opponent just plays a removal spell and removes you from the game. But this deck has like so much reach attached to it between the level 3 on Rangers class, letting you play a bunch of dudes off the top of your deck, and then Moonveil Regent being able to just cycle through cards as many as you're able to play. And then we haven't played too many Briarbridge Trackers. It's just kind of a bit of a filler at this point because I don't want to be playing 4 Moonveil Regents. This is pretty bad when you draw it in multiples, but the tracker generating these clue tokens, another way for us to generate a bit of value, especially if you come into these spots to where you want to just use the Chariot to copy your clues and come out here and draw some additional cards. So the only other thing to mention with this before we really dive into playing a bit here is the lands aren't like real requirements. You don't have to be playing Shatterskull Passes or Lair of the Hydras. I really don't even like Rockfall Vale. If you're on more of a budget out here, as we've really started out with this. The Cragcrown Pathway is the only particularly important land, I think, here. And so you can really make some cuts in the lands, because once you get away from those, then you're down to just, like 12 rares between, I guess it's 15 between the class, the Chariot, the Stormseeker, and Magda, and then the handful of mythics down here. Even the Wrenn and Seven isn't really a requirement. The only big things that I look for in these mythics would be the dragons. You can actually take out Wrenn and Seven if you have like Arlen, that's fine. If you have Briarbridge Trackers, that's fine. He's most certainly not a requirement here. But yeah, this is it. We've been playing this best of 1. We'll go ahead and jump into an event. The only thing with this is, I guess I should say of note with best of 1 is I'm playing 23 land in here. A lot of these style of decks in best of 1 drop down to like 21 and 22 land. I'm still just not like a huge fan of that. We always have like plenty of stuff to do with our mana, and I've been pretty happy with actually playing 23. And then I think that's also a pretty nice transition over into best of 3. And so at least in this game here, we can keep a hand like this. It's got a ramp card and a Goldspan Dragon, and so we can get the turn 4 Dragon happening with this, and so we'll be pretty happy to keep this on the play. But no, a lot of these decks in Constructed, or in Best of 3, look to play some blue lands and then find ways to get the counter spells in there, so you can better combat the Time Warp deck. But I haven't felt like we were, we don't need to do that here. In Best of 1, we're never sideboarding in those blue cards, and so not too bad. All right, but yeah, a bit of an awkward start. We would have felt much better about this if we picked up a 2, but I think we're more than okay here. Decline, kill off this thing. Looking like a pretty good start against mono red. They didn't have the 1-cost removal spell to take down our Sentinel. Boop. All right, then we'll be getting that turn 4 Dragon going. Oh, I wanted to get our dragon. Awkward. All right, Sentinel, we'll get your aggro thing happening out here. I mean, I think we're still in a reasonable position against goblins here. Not super worried about anything that he's presenting. Take down his dude, start getting the dragons in, and then we'll be able to start attacking with Lair the Hydra after this turn. Still rather play the dragon than the Chariot. Alright, we're getting them good. Sure. You got it. Good space for these chariots here, just being able to come in and block whatever aggression he's trying to pull off. Perfect. Even we don't need the life gain here, but we could certainly have worse things happen to us. And I want to play the Chariot off of treasure mana. So good, that's what it's offering up for us. So we've got tons of blockers. We're gaining the health off the Innkeeper. This game should be pretty close to done. So yeah, opponent didn't interact too well with what we're doing. But it's nice to see one of these less than optimal draws come in and still get a win. All right, on to the next one. Getting them dragons on board, that's what everybody likes, right? Ain't nothing wrong with dropping some dragons down. Alright, well this is a fairly weak one, especially on the draw, but I mean it's got a ramp card in it that we can, and then a card we can play on turn 3. So I think this is reasonable. And then even with these Sentinels, we can make this curve where we play Sentinel on 1, we play Sentinel Dragon's Fire on 2, and then hopefully have the Chariot ready for action on 3. Opponent went down to 6. Play in the green cards. Whoa, all the Sentinels. That's a lot of Jaspera Sentinels out here today. Alright, let's see. They mulligan, but it'd be nice if they invest the mana into the Ranger class attack upgrade, and then we just get to Dragonfire their dude. That would be the most ideal of plays here. Nope. Pretty straightforward. And here we'll take the red mana off of the Rockfall Vale. So if we want to, oh, I thought this was the pathway. Excellent. This is fine. I was gonna say I definitely want to be able to have double red here opposed to double green. Okay. Sure. So how much mana can we get up to here? We can get, if we want, we could get up to 6, and then kill off both of his units. We couldn't attack with the Chariot if we want to go about it that way, so I'm not really amped about that. The way I'm kind of looking at this here is we can play Ranger class that kind of sort of cost 1 mana. We can Dragonfire off the Naturalist, and then we still have the means to load up the Chariot and attack with it. Right, so we want a Ranger class. Targeted creature. Red. Mana. Tap this thing. Alright, so now we can load up the Chariot. If you're not familiar with what you're supposed to do with the Chariot, you're supposed to come out here and copy the cat tokens. It's way more important than copying wolf tokens because cats. This is one of the one of the best cards ever made. And now we have the 1 mana here at the end to add our Sentinel to the board. Perfect. We want to just add this. We can play it on tap next turn if we want. I don't. Our health is in no danger. And say, I'd rather just have the removal spell next turn if we need it. Oof, good stuff. Alright, on to the next one. So much power. That's where that reach comes in, though, right? At the end of that game, we have like the 3 Sentinels and 4 or 5 land. And so the ramp decks of old, you would just be hoping to, draw like an 8-drop or something, but the Ranger class really lets us come in and have a reasonable set of late game. Okay, then hands like this are reasonably weak. We're on the draw, and our only ramp is with Magda, and so there's a lot of matchups where this just doesn't play out that well. But I think having the Reckless Stormseeker will smooth out this draw in the event that this doesn't go right, because then on turn 4. Assuming they haven't interacted with our Stormseeker, we can still play the Chariot, give the Chariot haste with the Stormseeker, and just come out here and generate some dudes. And so I think I'm okay to hang on to this one, even though Magda's pretty weak on the draws. Pretty weak against eye twitches as well. Just like against mono black, you have to be kind of worried about what is it, Blood in the Snow or whatever the big AOE's are, and then Meat Hook Massacre, kind of the same thing. And so it's a bit of a struggle. Like I don't really want to be adding Magda Stormseeker Chariot to the board. Not playing mono black or black green. Interesting. Those are what tends to be much more common in this format, at least with what I've encountered. So then with this, we would have a couple of options next turn. We could either attack with Magda, probably just trade it with Eye Twitch, and then follow up with the Moonveil Regent. I don't like this, though. I think we're good to just add the Stormseeker here. Reasonable chance this gets countered. I don't like running these into the Force Spike kind of cards, but I think this is okay. Then I want to attack with both. I want to be able to play Goldspan Dragon next turn. Typically expect them to have some amount of removal spells. If it goes into next turn and we still have the Reckless Stormseeker on the board, then we'll look to play Jessica's Chariot. But if he does answer our Stormseeker, then we're set up to play the Goldspan Dragon now. Okay, what'd you take? The pest summoning? Make the blockers? Sure. Strange sequencing that they sent at us is just having no removal spell and no counter spell. It was kind of odd. So we have options here. It's like I'm kind of leaning towards playing the Chariot just to go wide. I think this is okay. It just feels like he's up to shenanigans, and I'd like to at least have this be in the space to where we like if he does come down and have a big AoE, we still at least have the Chariot on the board. Copied them cats. And it is at least kind of nice this way in the sense that if he does come in and clear out our board, we still have a haste unit in our hand. That would be one of the more ideal plays here. Looks like he's trying to save this thing for the sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. I think that's typically the more common card when they're trying to leave the blocker back. Okay, so how do we feel about this? We can... does this target Planeswalkers? Yeah, I was going to say, we can come in and just kill Lotleth, which is what I think we're going to want to be doing. We could also just go at her with Goldspan Dragon, but that feels like a little bit lower value. So yeah, let's do this. Let's make this hit for 2. 1, 2. And should probably target one of these bigger ones. 1 and 1. Okay.
I'm sure you'll miss me. My power is for annihilation.
Alrighty, then let's protect our Stormseeker here. I don't want to trade it with one of these 2 bad units if we don't have to. So now we can attack with everything. Keep improving on board here without investing the cards out of our hand. Feels pretty good. I'm going to take 5 with a no block. Yeah, let's see. Okay.
The essence of life.
Make us sacrifice a cat. This doesn't seem like a particularly strong card at this space. How much damage are we looking at here? We got 8 on board. Can only get up to +4. We probably have to take. Hang on. We've got 6, 7, 8, 9 with the Stormseeker, so that would be 1 short. I don't see ways around that. I think we are safe to just come in and add Dragon now. Getting to the point to where we can just start to like sacrifice off, or we could play like Moonveil Regents and be discarding cards. I think this is fine. Combat. This can go on Dragon. Crew up. Oh, nope. Attackers. There we go. 4 and 2. Everything else face.
To fix things.
I'm going to go ahead and just spend the mana and get the Ranger class going. So we get the double mana off of the cheaper thing there. The double mana off the token. I could see an argument for keeping it though. Like going into our next turn, if we like say we get AoE'd here, if we would draw land, be able to sacrifice the treasure so that we could play Moonveil Regent, Ranger class, tap the Regent to activate the Chariot, and then have the Chariot copy the token that we would have on board. Wouldn't have been super unreasonable. We can still make similar plays with the Regents here, but it's just an attack with the Chariot and not getting to copy the unit.
Have such power. Subservience will be rewarded.
Alright, a little worrisome now. These little dum-dums have reach.
My children will take care of you.
Okay. Flying Flash, enters tapped. Okay. Down to 2 cards. We're getting close to being able to do stuff here. Alright, so draw the untapped land. That's what I was kind of interested in, because we want to give the bonus to the Moonveil Regent so that it can attack. We're just going to go face with it. If we give it the bonus with the Ranger class, it means that it can attack into these spiders and not die. So I think that's where we want to be. Not super interested in attacking with this Stormseeker. I'd rather just have it on board for next turn so we can maybe get in an attack with 2 dragons. But is this attack with just the Stormseeker ever good? I don't think so. I don't want him activating this spider. Well, how does this go? It's +3. He needs to lose both spiders if he wants to activate it for units again. This doesn't feel like a really high-valued attack hitting with the Stormseeker. But he is going to be getting additional blockers next turn if he wants to block with the Draco Lich. Okay. I think we can hit with everything. Oof. Okay.
Aren't I generous?
So yeah, the big downside to this style of play is we don't have the Stormseeker on board next turn if we want to attack with the Regent, but I think it's fine.
Aren't I the generous one?
Oh, sure.
I will cull the weak.
Alright, so we have like 2 options here. We can either activate the Ranger class or we can play the Moonveil Regent and and see what happens. I think I just want to activate the Ranger class, see if anything shows up on top. We got a few turns of needing to hang out here, so I think that's okay. Here, I think this is a decent enough attack with the Chariot. I guess the downside is he could get a learn out of the Eye Twitch. I think we just end up having to pass here. If he tries to play removal spell on our dragon, we can just kill off his Planeswalker. So I think it should be reasonably safe just hanging out here on board. And we'll see if we can't just chain off a bunch of spells with our Ranger class next turn. Cast him from your graveyard if a creature not named thing died this turn. I've never even seen this before. Did not know you existed, Ebon Death the Draco Lich. Alright, making these big decisions here. And I guess their worry would be as to whether or not they can actually draw a card with a lot less. Like losing a life and drawing a card, going to 5. If we pick up whatever the AoE land is, we can kill off both of his units and kill him with the Moonveil Regent. That's what I would think this is probably coming down to, but what do I know? Bringing in some of that heat. And so, yeah, the only thing that really worries me here is like this Eye Twitch. He's going to get to learn the thing that, well, I would assume that up against Ranger class, he'd probably want to be getting the thing that lets you destroy exile a permanent or destroy permanent, whatever, and then that player draws a card. Doesn't seem like the space where you're wanting the Midnight Menagerie, whatever the thing that generates all the tokens is called. So, we'll see. Innkeeper's good. Decline. Decline. Would we rather just hit with the Chariot as opposed to the Goldspan Dragon? I think I like this as well. Oh, face please. Face please. There has to be removal spells at some point though, right? It feels like they've just done absolute nothing to, as far as removal's concerned. They just played the one AoE and that was it. Okay.
We will slay our enemies.
Interesting. I didn't realize those death things went on the stack for the lot left. I was curious if we'd be able to Moonveil Regent down the Spider Queen if that's what it came to. And it did go for the Midnight Menagerie. It turns out that's called Mascot Exhibition. No, it's like I know what these cards are. I just don't know what the names are. All right, that's fine. And that does not seem good against us. I guess it makes the 2/1 flyer, but
And I, the generous one.
awkward. You can add the land. This is one of these. Well, I guess we can just go ahead and play like the Moonveil Regent and then discard our hand or discard the chariots. I don't. It's like I don't want to be playing the chariot here. What do we get out of attacking? Say we hit with everything. He's gonna start trading. It's gonna be tough for us to come in through the Lotleth. Can we ever even get a good attack here? Oof. So we just need to get a third color on the board and kill him with our Moonveil Regents. But I think this is okay to discard a Chariot. We're just going to redraw another one and then see what turns up on our deck. Take action. Forest. I don't see how we're gonna get good attacks out of this. Say like we come in, we can make say the Regent a 7/7. He can block with the Draco Lich and like this flyer thing. Doesn't seem good. We aren't really wearing down enough of his board. Oh. I guess we're getting rid of some of it. Oh, if we're gonna lose the Moonveil Regent, we can at least take down his Spider Queen. Then I want to put the bonus onto our Goldspan, so he at least has to trade like that Draco Lich for it. I think this is okay. Yeah, we wear out some of this stuff. It'll just be up to him as to whether or not he wants to lose his Spider Queen. Either put like one blocker or three blockers in front of our Regent. Okay.
I will get what I want. Subservience will be
We lose out on the dragon, so we don't get the bonus mana, so we can't just play a Chariot here. I think this is okay, though. We need a blue card, right? Found a way to get some different colors on the board for the Regent's death effect. Uh-oh, how bad is that? That's scary when they're just coming in with everything. Is he just gonna clear the board and then make two spiders? Okay. He's gonna gain a ton of health and stuff, but I mean this is hopefully where Ranger class can carry us.
Betrayer! I'll end you. I will do my power.
Not dead. Not dead is a perk. What did?
Aren't I generous?
Oh, he got extra stuff on his Spider Queen. Oh, from his stuff dying. I guess that makes sense. I was like, well, let's take it down to 2. But oh, gross. And then we just hit a land on top. Like this isn't the best deck for the Ranger class, since we do have the things like oh, what's it called? Like all the various planeswalkers, and there's a lot of non-creatures in here, but usually hit a little bit better chains than what we've gotten out of the class this game. we're just dead at this point. We're gonna die to the Meat Hook Massacre. That's fine. Just a little bit short. All right, on to the next one. I suspect that one's typically tough. I'd say some of these control matchups aren't horrible, but anyways. Let's see, what do we got? We're on the draw again with one of these Magda hands. I don't think we can mulligan this one. I think this is close enough. Like if opponent doesn't interact with us, we can get down the turn 3 Goldspan Dragon, which is just powerful enough. It gives us a nice way to recover here, and then kind of like we were hoping to do at that previous game, if things go right with the Ranger class, then we have some reach at the end. I think I'm going to start with the Shatterskull Smashing. I think we're always going to end up playing this, so let's just get it down on the cheap now and see what we can do. If we're against mono green, Magda tends to be fairly awkward, but we might end up doing something with the Dragonfires instead. Okay, some kind of Simic deck. I think this is usually like Bant. I think I'm good enough to just trade off our Magda for the thing, whatever this whatever this thing is called. I mean, I guess at this point we can Dragonfire though if we want, like Dragonfire and then add the Innkeeper. I think that's okay. Happy enough to be taking down that ramp spell. Is it worth just to add the Innkeeper? I think it's probably fine. We have to like draw the land to play the dragon next turn, but at least get on board a little bit. Do nothing. It's kind of suspect. I guess the do nothing was legitimate. Fair enough. Express yourself with your emotes. Righty. So what do we got here? Another one on the draw. All these Magdas on the draw. It's like, as advertising, these aren't very good on the draw, but we're getting these hands where we're kind of stuck with it. I don't think we can mulligan this one either. Has the potential for the turn 3 Chariot. Okay. What is this? Emiria. Alright, well, this is looking like a pretty safe Magda. Less so now. Less so now. I don't think we have much choice in the matter. She's not going to be good here. But we can at least get this one online. We can play another one. And then, depending on how they handle their turns, we might be able to get like a Ranger class upgrading this Magda so she can continue to attack. It's like, I think the Foretell is usually the counterspell. But let's see, we didn't draw an untapped land, so we can't get the Ranger class play going. A little unfortunate. Just auto passed it. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean. Alright, but definitely not in a great space here. I think the Stormseeker's fine. This was a decent pickup. Still lets us attack with everything. I know, just doesn't feel good to burn off this mana here. I guess we could do it for like an Innkeeper, but that doesn't really get us anywhere. Is this going to be Doomscar? Is that what the Foretell is when they don't do anything?
You can't even comprehend what I'll do. Heal!
It's a big old dog. Alright, so let's get the land down. Pay it. Add the Regent. It's at least enough to take down his Planeswalker. This feels like we're pretty far behind at this point.
This has stopped being worth my time.
Alright, I think we're good to add the Ranger class. Decline. We can potentially get a little bit going next turn. We can attack around this dog. Probably just have to block. I feel like they're going to be up to shenanigans if they're coming in with the attack on the dog there. It seems like it seems like they have a Doomscar off to the end. But I mean, they're down to 3 cards now, and they just have we have a Ranger class on board. We do have a bit of potential with this. Okay. Might be just enough reach to get us there. I think this is fine. I mean, if they didn't have the unit generator to shut down the Magda, we would have been pretty powerful. Yeah. It's like one untapped land, one time dealer. Let us get in here with the old Goldspan. Fine, if you're not gonna do it, say fine. Okay. I think we're probably just too far behind this game. I mean, we can start chunking in some damage now, but their life total is really healthy, and then they have the memory deluge in hand. Then we'll hang on to the last Innkeeper. If we manage to draw a Moonveil Regent, I want to be able to draw cards off of it. Still got a few in here. He still has a Field of Ruin, so the Lair, like the Lair of the Hydra attack here isn't going to be any good. I think we're stuck just hitting with the dragon at this point. Okay. A little scary, a little scary. Who knows what they can pick up here. I'm sure they can get all of the options one could ever need. And then is it too greedy to add the Chariot? Probably. If we're gonna hit with the Lair of the Hydra next turn, it would be for 3, 4, 5, one short. So if we had an untapped land and they spend like an 8 mana on an AoE, we might be okay. Just go ahead and pick up the other treasure token just in case. So what land do they have untapped? This thing costs 5, so they can't use the Cave of the Frost Dragon this turn. Field of Ruin costs 2, so they can use that. Oh, this is problematic. Gain all them healths. Alright, let's see if being wider than them is good enough. Okay, probably not. We'll give it a shot. Now we need we just need cards that don't exist in our deck anymore. Alright, this one's done. It's a little bit short. This is the matchups where the sideboarding and some negates and disdainful strokes helps out immensely. Alright, on to the next one. Ugh, these games on the draw with Magdas are a little bit painful. I mean, we could have taken that one differently. We could have just started out with like Ranger class kind of stuff, but it would have been a little bit more challenging to do anything since we were a bit strapped for mana. Alright, and then one of these hands where we're stuck with Rockfall Vales. I don't think we can hang on to a hand like this. If we had an untapped land, then maybe we could, but these don't work out well enough, often enough to hang on to. Alright. This is going to have to do it. I'm not going to go to 5 on the play. So let's keep the 6. I think we can probably just get rid of the Rockfall Vale. Good with the Sentinel. Okay. These are the spaces where Magda gets exciting. And you get to play the turn 1 Magda. Or the turn 2 Magda and then just tap her for a token. Okay, then we'll see how obvious it is. It should be pretty obvious that we have a burn spell in hand when we make plays like this, but we'll see how this goes. I would rather be able to, remove pretty much any unit that they could have as opposed to just getting in that point of damage. I think we want to use the treasure token here, and then we'll just attack for 2 damage. Playing against I assume this is the Time Warp deck. It's a bit of an awkward one if you aren't able to get out in front of it with your aggression. Quickly running out of stuff to do. I would assume that at this point that their Foretold card is it's either the counterspell or the Time Warp. But I don't think we have a choice here. I think we just have to go all in with our dragon. Give me them health. Okay. Highlighting his Foretell back there. Okay. If he's short on land. Discarded a Time Warp and a erratic, whatever this is, expressive iteration. And he attacks. Bold. Well, we have the removal spell for the dragon. We're just a little bit short on damage. I was gonna say, is this gonna be one of these games that turns out where we just have the 1 mana short? This. Okay, we can do 12. Thank you. There it is. All right, that was a weird draw from opponent. Look at this, we're at the break-even point, right? +3 cards to the collection. Hells yeah. Alright, so what do we got with this one? We're on the play. Just a ton of cards in hand. Or a ton of land. This is probably something we should be mulliganing, but I'm gonna hang on to it. I think if this was something that wasn't Ranger class, then I wouldn't do it, but being able to do this curve to where we start with the Sentinel, turn 2 we play Ranger class and a second Sentinel, and then we can start flipping this and having a bunch of mana, I think this is okay. Forest, Ranger class, get the wolf, we tap the wolf, play a second thing. Okay. Just a bad draw from mono white. No, is that the Doomscar? That starts to be problematic if he's dropping Doomscar on us. So let's just be aggressive with what we have. I think I'm good to attack with everything. Looks like we got a big old dragon on top. Opponent stalled on land, right? We have 4 and they stopped at 2. Alright. Let's get that damage in. If they're going to be tapping out for a removal spell next turn, then hopefully we can at least get something going with the Ranger class. Nope. Huh, okay. I'd assume if they had the AOE, they would have blocked across, so they would have prevented 3 damage. Well, they had it. Had another land on top. Kind of crappy. I don't know. I'm just curious how much more aggressive we should have gotten with this hand. I let it slip in my brain that they stalled on mana, and when they stopped at 2, we probably should have just gone all in with the Chariot, as opposed to doing the more kind of grindy method with the Ranger class. Let's see. There's a dragon. Sometimes you just find some dragons out here. Okay. We'll put the... Oh, we got to make the token first. I'm going to say we'll put the Ranger class on the Chariot, since if he has another Wrath, it at least has some potential to hang out on board. Well, we could potentially beat Doomscars here. I think we beat Teferi. He doesn't do anything, right? Gain 2 life and tap some stuff.
And some think time only flows in one direction.
This is a little awkward if he has like the unsummon. I don't feel like these decks really play the unsummon, but I've definitely seen it. Oh, he's got 2 mana though. Alright. I'm a little worried about this. Fateful Absence, yeah. We spend the clue now. We don't have any dragons to take down Teferi. What's his... I don't care if he does these things. Let's wait. Maybe we can pop the clue and hit another haste creature or something. Or if, we have like a Dragonfire, then like a land on top of our deck. We'll just try and make the most usage out of this Ranger class. Destroy all non-land permanents. Ugh. Why are there so many of those? That shit's annoying.
Suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
Okay. We can Dragonfire our own Moonveil Regent to draw a card. I'd prefer to wait a turn. It doesn't seem like they're going to be dropping, too many creatures on us anytime soon, but we're not going to get like to take, big advantage out of the Dragon's Fire card draw if we played on our turn. It's not that big of a deal. Let's go ahead and draw a card now, though. Goldspan Dragon. Ready to get in there and do some damages. Just need one more. If we'd spread that damage out, if we hadn't put the damage on the Chariot and put it on a different unit, we'd have them at 4 and be able to Goldspan. Whew. It usually feels like putting the counter on the Chariot is the place to be. No. F. I wonder if we should have played the Tracker and the Regent and then gone for the big dragon next turn. Let's at least take down this big unit. Select the dragon. Okay, then kind of the same as the turns before. I don't want to just be drawing cards with this clue. So we're probably just going to discard stuff to the Moonveil Regent. So at least when we have cards in our hand, I think we can let the clue hang out. It's like, do we ever just win the game with this thing? It seems like we should be pretty close. Okay. He's looking at something in the old graveyard area. Not sure what that indicates. I don't think they have things to return cards to their hand. Okay. Devious Cover-Up. Not a card I expected to see in Constructed. Is that how they win games? Alright, well hopefully this Lair of the Hydra is enough to close this out. Between the stuff that we have on board and then having the man land. Hopefully that'll do it. So he's spending the manas though. Okay. So he'll only have 3 or 4 mana if he has another card. I think this is fine. Not exactly familiar enough with the format to know if there's ways to get out of this. Oh, the Revelry is quite good. Most certainly is good. How many more cards can we get? Do your thing, Moonveil Regent. Alright, that's as far as it's going to go. Don't think we want to attack with the thing down here. We do want to attack with the Stormseeker. Combat. So we're self-targeting Stormseeker. We're going to activate the Chariot off of our new wolf. Get an extra attacker that way. The squad. Copy the cat. +1/+1. We should probably just put on our flyer, get the additional point of damage in. And then if he does like kill our flyer next turn, maybe we have a chance to just go to face for that last 2 damage. We can kill them with the Lair of the Hydra if they don't have another way to generate a unit. So we just need to get in for 1. Guess. Make sure we still have 4 mana left over. How much do we want to do this for? I think it's reasonable just to stop it. Yeah, this will have 4. We have to attack with the land. We'll have 2 mountains, 2 forests left over. Okay. Got him. Alrighty, good job, deck. So you can see that reach in there. It's certainly a possibility to just draw tons of cards in the late game with those regents. Good, good. Move it on. Winning the game. Yeah, I think in hindsight, if I'd noticed that they stalled on 2 land, I would have just ran the chariots out and been much more aggressive with that one. And then I don't know. It seemed like maybe we were being a little bit overly clever with some of those plays. But here, reasonable enough. These will play out slightly differently with the double Ranger class Sentinel hand, but this is powerful enough to do some magic. Opponent mulliganed, it looks like twice. Yep. All right. Well, let's get the tokens going with the Ranger class draw. This is what I imagine it's supposed to be when like you look at Untapped GG and it calls this an aggro deck. I have to imagine it's because of draws like this, but I certainly don't look at this as an aggro deck. Thought I was supposed to get to like draw cards off of this thing. These 1 mana removal spells are bonkers. Okay, so I mean, I think we're fine to just go in with the chariots. It's a little bit slower than doing, well, this is probably a little bit safer though, right? If we just Ranger class and then start getting the +1/+1 abilities going. It's a little bit faster as well. Also lets us do stuff like Dragon's Fire a unit next turn and then still get the bonus attack. This the beginning of your upkeep, put a night counter on the ring that has 8 counters on it, remove them all, and create 8 more of these things. Sure. Wonder at these space if we should make the 4/4. So if they have like the zombie AoE, we would be able to at least have a surviving unit. I see. Alright, got that one anyways. We beat the mulligan to 5. Alright. Let's see if we can't take down this last match. I think we've already got our 2 losses, right? So this is the last one, the end of your value for today. Let's see if we can't double up our gold with the event. Okay, so on the play, it's got all the tools one could need. This looks pretty good to me. Would like to draw another land here early, but it's got a ramp and the Innkeeper. It's got the Stormseeker if we want to just pause a little bit and try to get the Goldspan Dragon going. I do look at this Moonveil Regent as being a bit more of a expensive type bro. And so it's not something that I'm like frequently, oh gosh, oh shit. I needed to play the red when I was talking and stuff and got to clicking too fast. Alright, well, let's see if we can recover out of this. Prosperous Innkeepers are quite good against the goblins. Alright, well, we drew a land. How big do you get? You just get bonus attack, so the Ranger class will be good against it. You can drop a Magda. Don't intend on blocking with, but she may have to. This should most certainly just be one of these games where if we don't lose, we'll win. So maybe that's the way we'll go about it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh my gosh, we're doing this horribly. I wanted to block his Javelineer with the wolf. I think we can still get ourselves out of this. Oh, this has been completely sloppy though. What a slop fest this one has been. Just misclicking and ugh. We're better than that. You discard a card if you do draw a card, okay. So I'd assume that he doesn't attack with the Bandit Lord, and then we can just try and trade off with the bug catcher. All right, let's put blockers in this time. Good job. We blocked with our units. Okay, I think the region's where we want to be. It's tough. Like we're going to lose out on our mana generation. Right, next turn we would really like to be able to play the Stormseeker and the Dragon's Fire, but it's not in the cards. Maybe we should have just gone and taken down the Bandit Lord, but it's such an awkward hand since we don't have the red mana. Hey, I think that's fine. We can go a turn. I'm not sure what tricks they play, but it's going to be something. Say, probably be something brutal. Are we just dead here? Yeah, that was my bad. I don't want to say that we're going to win that game, but that was sloppy, like complete slop. Just misclicking the wrong land and then not making a block. Was getting to talking and clicking too fast. That was a bit of my mistake. We could have done again. I don't think we would have been guaranteed to win that one, but we certainly should not have been that sloppy in our clicking. But nonetheless, it gives you a good primer on the deck here. We'll be playing this a little bit more throughout the week. I'm looking to move over a little bit more into constructed than all the limited we've been doing, but I want to get the some of the more lands for this before we jump into best of 3. So, yeah, not bad. I think this upcoming Saturday there might be an Eastern Time Zone Red Bull tournament. So I'm going to look to start investing some of my Saturdays and Sundays into playing the tournaments now that we've kind of gotten our collection to where we can come in and do it. And so we'll see that with the upcoming events. But that is going to do it for this one. Hope you all enjoyed it. You learned how to ramp a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.